Greetings, YouTubians, and welcome back to Wayne Sharp World, where, as you can see, we have a long line, or maybe a capital T, of knives, because we have one awesome list to conquer today, and that is the top 10 best Sencut knives. Now, why just Sencut? Well, here's why. When Sencut first came out, I will admit I wasn't their biggest fan. I struggled to see the difference between Sencuts and Civivis. They were all kind of mixing together for me. But over the past 5-6-ish months, the whole WE knife company has done a real good job of separating Sencut from Civivi, and of course from WE, but Civivi and Sencut was really where I was having my issues with. But they've done a really good job of differentiating between the two brands, as to where now pretty much all your Civivis are going to be pretty well north of $50, but vast majority, as a matter of fact, every single one of these knives in this video is well under $50, and some of them, at least one or two of them, are under $40. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Now, there are some differences. We're going to be talking a little more budgety steels. There's basically two steels between all these knives of what's being used. You'll see that trend as we go through the video. But what you get with Sencut, why I wanted to make this video, is because I truly believe that you cannot get a better knife under $50 than a Sencut. I've really seen the light lately. Their designs have been impressing me. The fit and finish and quality has been through the roof. The quality and fit and finish of these are just as good as Civivi. Absolutely just as good. The difference is going to be basically in the blade steel, and really that's it, because we're still talking G10 and some wood and all that good stuff. So for the difference in price, there's really not a big trade-off between Civivi and Sencut. The biggest difference is going to be your blade steel and ultimately the price point as well. But there's so many good ones. This one's going to be tough because my 10 favorite Civivis could be very different than anyone else's 10 favorite Civivis. What I have here is my top 10, and then I also have 2 honorable mentions here. So, of course, let me know what I missed in this video as we're going through. Let me know where you would put some other knives, but we're going to get into it. I'm already 2.5 minutes into the video. I did not mean to talk this much, but let's go. First honorable mention is, and of course, there will be links for every single one of these knives. Every one of these knives is readily, easily available. All the links will be below. Be sure to check those out, because I guarantee you there's a knife for everyone in this list. First up, honorable mention, we have the Sencut Fritch. Now, this guy here is basically, this is kind of like a sheep's foot style version of your Civivi Elementum. I really get some strong Elementum vibes here. As a matter of fact, do I have my, yeah, I actually do have my Elementum right here. Look at that. Very, obviously different, but you get similar vibes. Different blade style, slightly different handle, but very much in that Elementum ballpark. You still got that choice. You got the slightly different blade with a tip that some people may enjoy a little more. We are looking at $45 for this guy with 9CR18 MOV steel and a blade length coming in at 2.99 inches. Action, as with any Sencut, is phenomenal. Thumb, flick, reverse, all that good stuff. Every Sencut I've ever handled has a pretty strong fidget factor. This one looks good and feels good, and it's a pretty strong honorable mention coming in at number 12. Next up here, our last honorable mention is one that I actually gave a full review of, and I was a little harsh of it during the full review. This was one of the first Sencuts I ever handled, and it actually has come to grow on me. I've come to like it. Not enough to put it in my top 10, but enough to say this is your number 11, the Sencut Brazoria. Very nice look to it. What really puts this ahead of the Fritch for me is just the flat-out ergos. Ergos feel fantastic on this. Feel really good in my hand. You got some good jimping up there. Very nice flipper tab. Again, action is phenomenal on this guy. We are looking at a 3.46-inch blade of D2 steel and a price coming in at $45.65. And yes, you can very easily middle finger flick that fuller, and it is a thing of fidget beauty. The Brazoria coming in at number 11 with the last honorable mention. And we're already cracking into our top 10. And this one here is another one. This was another Sencut that when I got it, I didn't love it, but it really rubbed off on me for a couple reasons. And what we have here is the Sencut Bocal or Bocal 2. This is a Brad Zinker design. And what I really love about this knife is this is the perfect office carry for someone who wants a nice knife but doesn't want to spend a lot. $38.25 gets you a very nice, clean, kind of traditional made modern design that is just very non-aggressive, very slicey, very efficient, just a phenomenal little office carry. And the flipping action on this thing, this little flipper with all this perfect jimping is incredible. Absolutely incredible flipping action. Really, really attractive closed vibes on this. I really, really love the design in this from a closed aspect. Nice, super deep carry clip, also making it very good for the office. And it's just a perfect little slicer. It really is a great knife. And of course, it's a Brad Zinker design, so you really get a top-notch design there. For $38.25 and a D2 blade under 3 inches, legal in a lot of places, looks good everywhere. The Sencut Bocal 2 is definitely one you want to consider. Next up here, we are taking a look at an Ostap Hell design, and I'm so glad Ostap Hell got into the Sencut lineup. What we have here is the Citus. And this here is very much an Ostap Hell design. You see all the Ostap Hell vibes. Even if it didn't have his name there, I could probably guess this is an Ostap Hell design. Slightly different pocket clip on this too, which I really like. Fully recessed, so really nice in the pocket. True deep carry, looks good, feels very good. Kinda has that like steak knife vibe to it. Some people like that, some aren't a fan of it, but this thing is one of the smoothest knives you'll see on this table today. Very effortless flipping, excellent jimping up there. A nice long blade coming in at 3.47 inches of D2 for $45.90. You can't really beat the prices of any of these. Because, I mean, what we are really talking about is the best budget knives you can get under $50. And I truly mean that. The consistency of fit and finish between these Sencuts, it really is impressive. Some people may think that I'm turning into just a Sencut fanboy. I wouldn't call fanboy, but I am becoming quite the fan of Sencut because I love knives that are this affordable and this good. Now, coming in at number 8, we have a piece of paper. There's actually going to be one more like this because there was 2 knives in this list. Of course, all these knives I've handled, but I don't own all of them. I own all but 2 of them. So this was one I had to get in there because I really like the design, and it's just a really, really nice button lock. Coming in at number 8 is the Sencut Wataga. Now, I do have a full review of this up, and this was pretty impressive for me. What we have here is a 3.4-inch blade, D2 steel, $45.75. This is one of 2 or 3 button locks on the list, and all the button locks from Sencut, guys, they're all impressive to me. I have not had a button lock from Sencut that I didn't like. This has a really nice blade shape, great ergos, excellent flipper, your typical pocket clip, and just a really nice kind of that, what is it we'll call this, a Wharncliffe, sheep's footish, modified Wharncliffe, I don't know. It's a really attractive looking blade, very slicey, very cool, and yeah, that is number 8. I really hated pulling the paper out on you, but I thought I would at least kind of make it funny by putting it in the case, so somehow I have more cases than Sencut knives, so go figure. But anyway, coming in at number 7, this is a real knife. This is a really good one. This is the Sencut San Angelo. Now, what I really love about this knife is it reminds me of the Vosti Nightshade in a way. And you guys know I love the Vosti Nightshade. And this is really a lot like that, or at least similar to it in terms of handle feel and almost kind of a blade shape. You got a lot of belly. You have a longer blade here. And the way this sits in my hand is just extremely comfortable. There's also some extra texturing all over this handle, as you can see. On the sides where it's chamfered, there's some nice pressing in there, and there's also some nice texturing on the G10. It really feels excellent. You can kind of use this area here as a choil. I may not recommend doing it, but you could. I'd be lying if I said I haven't used it like this before. Just be very careful because you're close to the sharpened edge, and always use your tools with awareness. But this is coming in at the San Angelo, $44.82, 3.4-inch blade, 9CR18 MOV on the steel. And again, it's a little different design from the rest. You'll also notice too that there's not going to be any knives in this list that look similar. They, excuse me, they all have a very different design language to each one, which I really do appreciate. Now, you might be able to find a Civivi somewhere that may look like a Sencut, but the Sencut lineup itself is all unique to each knife, and I really do like that. You don't have any twinsies coming along kind of making things look silly, so I really do like that. And the San Angelo is just a fantastic pier flipper with a nice slicey edge. And just a good sized blade with excellent ergos. Again, you can't beat it for $44.82. Excellent value there as well. And we are coming in to number 6. Number 6 is a very popular one. A lot of you probably own this. Probably the most, I would venture to bet this is the most purchased Sencut button lock knife so far, and that is the Sencut Sash. And I think the reason this took off so well is I believe it was one of the first button lock offerings from Sencut, and it just has that really good traditional basic vibe to it. Nice drop point blade, hand-filling handle with some nice jimping, really nice button lock action. It's really, really good. The thumb studs, for anyone who likes that, are very easy to use, very easy for all the deployment methods. And again, it's Sencut, so we're talking $45.45. How can you beat that? 3.7-inch, 9CR18 MOV blade. It's just hit after hit. I can't think of anyone who would get tired of paying under $50 for a high quality, very, very well executed knife. I mean, they just do too much right to really steer you away from the brand, unless you just, of course, don't like Chinese produced knives, which in that case, you probably don't watch my channel, because I feature a lot of Chinese produced knives, because quality and all that good stuff don't just come from the US, they come from all over the world. When it's coming from the US, it's great. Sometimes it comes from China. Sorry to say it, but I'm not sorry to say it. That's just the fact. Sorry if you can't accept it. Sencut Sash, excellent one, coming in at number 6. We're already in the top 5, and here is our top 5. And what we have at number 5 is another piece of paper. And on this piece of paper is the Sencut, excuse me, I need some water. The Sencut Actium. This here gives me some just excellent slicey vibes. You have a very nice hollow grind on the blade. That blade is coming in at 3.46 inches, D2 steel, $39.75 for this one. For the price, it's one of the best knives on the list. It's just not my personal favorite, but it's a damn good knife. Phenomenal ergos. You got the choil. The way this would sit in my hand, maybe you can just kind of envision it. Yeah, it feels good. It's hard to really go. Yeah, it's on a piece of paper. But hey, the Actium, I think, is probably one of the more underrated knives in the lineup. It's also probably, maybe it's not one of the more underrated, because I think it is one of the more purchased Sencuts. But you don't hear that much about it. Maybe because it's a slightly older knife. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's fantastic, and that is why it is number 5 on the top 10 Sencut list. And now we're coming to number 4, and this is another one that is just that perfect size, perfect everything for a lot of people. It's a ferrum forged design, and what we have here is the Kyril. And if you like the the ferrum forged stinger, that's what I'm looking for, the ferrum forged stinger, you have to try this knife. This is basically a ferrum forged stinger with a slightly different handle profile and a very different blade shape, of course. but the ergos are on point, as with every Ferrum Forge model. I love this blade, very slicey. We're looking at a 3.19 inch blade of 9CR 18 MOV and a price of $42. $42 for a Ferrum Forge design. This is the only Ferrum Forge design, I think, to exist for that low of a price. This is a phenomenal value, especially when you consider where this design is coming from. Action here, nice push button action. It really does kind of disappear in my hand. It feels very comfy, very nice slicey blade. This could easily be number one for me. At one point when I was getting into Sencut and really starting to come on, this was one of the ones that really started to convert me because I was just so impressed. The natural G10 is a little more like faded almost. Like if you look at the sash compared to just slightly a different shade of natural G10, but I think I'm going to be writ dyeing this like a bright bluish teal. I think that would be sweet. But yeah, it's just action, design language, size. This thing is a true EDC banger, especially for $42. The Sencut Chiral, don't look past this guy. But also keep your eyes on these top three, because these top three here are without a doubt, no question, my three favorite Sencut knives quite easily. The Chiral is kind of approaching this, but these three and the Chiral are far and away my top four. I will put it that way. I like these four a little more than the rest. But coming in at number three, we have a knife that really at one point was my number one as well. But this here is the Sencut Mims, and I can't believe I have this thing at number three because the flipping action is incredible. It's glassy smooth. The middle finger flicking action is phenomenal. The design on this thing, I mean, look at these leading lines. It is just beautiful. There's very few knives that look this good, feel this good, with this good of action, and they're coming in at $43.35. $43.35. That's nuts, guys. That is, in all honesty, that's absolutely ridiculous. And listen, there's even a little bit of a tink there at the end. It's so nice. It's such a satisfying sound and action. Ergos are incredible. You got that nice full choil. It sits excellently well in my hand. I have no complaints with this. This could just as easily be number one, but it happens to be number three. The Sencut Mims. Coming up to number two, this is what probably a lot of you may be thinking are number one. This here is the Civivi. I keep wanting to say, probably because they all feel like Civivis, the Sencut Slashkin. This is definitely the best name on the list, the Slashkin, and it lives up to it too. Look at this long, slicey hollow grind. Absolutely phenomenal. Ergos are actually a tad better on this than the Mims because you have a little more hand room. So if you got wider or thicker fingers, this is the knife for you. So much slicey blade here. We are looking at 3.48 inches of a D2 blade. And this is even less than the Mims, guys. This is coming in at $41.65. It's insanity. It really is insanity for how good of an action you get with this and how little you pay. This whole Sencut line is just a testament to what can really be put out at a low price. Again, now you're not getting M390 or 20 CV. That's well noted. You're basically getting 9CR 18 MOV or D2, depending on the knife that you saw in this video. But man, oh man, the fit and finish and quality action, you feel like you have a knife that is a lot more than $40-ish because it's just so satisfying. The Sencut Slashkin flipping action is phenomenal. Again, it's another one. It could easily be number one, but it's number two. But now it's time to look at number one. And this one here is definitively number one, I think, because there's not, and I will say this too, I did not pay for many of the Sencuts you've seen in that video. in this video. I paid for a couple of them, but most of them were sent to me by Sencut over time. This one I bought with my own money because they sent some out to reviewers and they just didn't have any left. And I thought, you know what? I like this brand so much. I haven't been disappointed yet. I'm very confident to spend my $46.75 on this, which is what this came in at. And what we have here is, to me, without a doubt, the best Sencut knife you can get. The Sencut Serene. And man, oh man, let me tell you. First off, this is the only knife you'll see on this video with aluminum handles. And what they did that I really love about these handles is they just went raw. They didn't coat it with anything. I mean, they may have blasted it, but it's not coated a color. So what that makes for this is you can then go get one of the one of the clip options, one of the Civivi clips. The Civivi clips hold this, and it matches the handle pretty much exact. So you have a nice milled clip. This is a titanium clip. You have a phenomenal feeling handle and the sliciest blade. Look at that blade. This is using a 3.4-inch D2 blade, and this is the best Sencut button lock ever made. And I almost tried not to put a button lock at number one because I'll admit I still love button locks. I am still very much in the craze. Some people say the fad's died off. I don't think it's a fad. I think button locks are here to stay because they're phenomenal. They're fidgety. They're reliable. They're not going to act like a survival knife for you, but they are perfectly adequate to be an EDC. And this just does it for me. The design is on point, full flat grind, mega slicey blade. There's never a lot of blade branding on a Sencut. You just have the Sencut font and logo there. Phenomenal feel on the button lock. I mean, just look at this. Flips out in the blink of an eye. Closes like butter. Nice, defined detent. This is a perfect button lock for the price, guys. You cannot beat it. And this goes way beyond just being a button lock. This is, in my opinion, without a doubt, the best Sencut knife you can get. The Sencut Serene coming in at $46.75. And let's do a quick recap now of our top 10. We have the Serene coming in at number 1, the Slashkin coming in at number 2, the Mims coming in at number 3. I just knocked all my knives over. The Cairo coming in at number 4. The Actium, paper doesn't work. The Actium at number 5. The Slashkin at number 6. The San Angelo. That was the Sash. The paper confused me. The paper got me off list. Let's just put all the knives up here and admire them one more time. They will all be linked below, guys, in the order they appeared in this video. So fret not. They'll be easy to find. And that's that, guys. This is, for the price, this is one of the most impressive lineup of knives. Not in the industry. I will truly say that in the industry of folding knives, pocket knives, whatever you want to call them, it's hard to beat the value and quality of Sencut knives. It's just a fact. It really is a fact. There are other companies that are trying to stir up some competition, but right now, in the $50 and under range, Sencut is clearly on top, and here's the best ones I've come across, as well as, of course, we have the Actium and the Wataga in paper form. That's it, guys. Let me know what you think of this one. I really hope you enjoyed this. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And until the next one, I'm out.